Man, I'm all alone this morning. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know if I was supposed to go live or not, but here we are. Good morning, geeks and gamers. I'm here. Ryan was here, and he froze up, and I haven't heard from him yet. I don't know what's going on. So I just hit go live because I didn't want to be too late. And here we are. How's everybody doing? I'm assuming he's going to show up at any moment now. You know, just doing Ryan things, but he's getting his internet fixed. So, what's up, everybody? I don't know. Our first topic of today will be Kathleen Kennedy. Man, I'm bombing this thing bad. So, Ronaldo says late and gay. Thank you. I don't know where anybody's at, man. It's just me up here. And there he is. Yes, he saved me. He saved me.
What's up, Jay?
What's up?
I want to fucking kill someone.
Right.
But I'm here. Can you hear me all right?
I hear you. You look great.
Thanks.
I didn't know if I should have went live. I didn't hear from you, so I just hit the button just so we weren't overly late.
I was about to call you and tell you to go live, and then I saw the notification.
Okay, good. So I did the right thing.
Jay's a pro. Jay's a pro. He was ready to go.
I don't know about all that. But it's
Hello,
a Tuesday.
Jake. It's a Tuesday. Good morning. It's Geeks and Gamers Daily. Hello, everybody. Do we have anything to talk about? I wish some news would have broken at some point over the past 24 hours, Jay.
Just a few stories. Heavily Star Wars related. Your favorite topic ever, right?
It's funny because we talked about Kathleen Kennedy a couple days ago on the stream, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, look, at some point in time, this old bitch is going to hang it up. She's not going to be fired, right? She's 71. She'll be 72 in June. Like, she is old. To put that in perspective, George Lucas was, 68 years old when he sold Disney to Star Wars because he thought he was just too old to keep making these fucking movies. So, like, at some point in time, Kathleen Kennedy was going to be ready to walk away. The question is that time now? Is that time now? So
it's hard to say. We've been hearing this ever since I started my YouTube journey that she was going to be out. But
well, I would say there's a little difference between what we're hearing today and what we've heard from people who have literally been lying to everyone for years and years and years about her getting fired. Bob Iger had enough. Bob Iger was going to fire her. Then Bob Chapek came in. He was going to change things. He'd had enough. He was going to fire her. Then Bob Iger came back in and she was going to get fired. When the truth is she's going to leave whenever she's ready. Now, the question is that now? Is that now? And you know what? Go ahead.
Oh, no. I was saying, like, if there was any time that she was possibly going to get fired or released from duty or step away, I'm pretty sure it would have been in 2023 with just like that's like some heavy L's, man. Like the Willow series was taken off Disney Plus, the Star Wars Hotel, which Lucasfilm was very heavily involved in. That thing failed. You had the Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny destruction. So it's like, other than Star Wars stuff, you had everything else that Lucasfilm was connected to just fail. Then Mando Season 3 hit. And in the middle of that, Mando Season 3, they lost like 700,000 subscribers on Disney Plus. And then the Disney Plus shows immediately following that just lowest viewed. Then they set the next record for lowest viewed. Then they set the next record for lowest viewed until we got the Skeleton Crew, which didn't even rank because people just walked away. So you would think that if there was going to be a change, it was 2023 with just a number of failures happening all in one time. But no, if that didn't happen, then yes, I agree. She will just take some awards. She'll pat herself on the back, say we gave it the good old college try, and leave whenever she feels ready to go.
And this is the news that everybody saw late last night or early this morning, depending. And this is not some random thing. This is Hollywood Reporter. Lucasfilm boss Kathleen Kennedy expected to retire this year. The prolific producer has presided over the destruction of the Star Wars and Indiana Jones franchises through ups and downs since 2012.
Ups?
Yeah. Look, I don't think you can't really make an argument about Force Awakens, being a financially successful film. And even at that period in time, I think there was a lot of excitement surrounding Star Wars and things like that. That would be the up, I suppose. After that, It was pretty much all, baby, are you down, 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 down?
I think the only highlight for toy sales was the Baby Yoda craze.
Yeah.
In between season 1 and season 2 of Mando. And then, that don't last forever. So other than that, there's really nothing else. Yeah. Really nothing else to say that what was up. My goodness.
And so let's get into this a little. After more than a decade in a galaxy far, far away, Kathleen Kennedy's charting a course towards retirement. The Lucasfilm boss has told associates she plans to retire by the end of 2025. Puck reported Monday night. Reps for Kennedy and Lucasfilm were not immediately available for comment. Now, we should get into this. This is Puck News. This is Matthew Belloni. I don't really know how to pronounce his name. He used to work at Hollywood Reporter. He may have been like the editor for Hollywood Reporter for a period of time. One of the reasons I think it's important to note is I don't necessarily feel like Puck News is the most reliable name in entertainment news. However, we should point out, and I'll pull up my own video from November 15th, 2021, my birthday in 2021. It's time to take Star Wars movies away from Kathy Kennedy. This is a report from Puck, from Matthew Belloni, where despite all of the fake bullshit reports that Kathleen Kennedy was finally going to be fired and all of these things from like the usual associates, it was actually first reported by him that Kathleen Kennedy had gotten a contract extension. Okay. Yeah. And this was November 15th, 2021. That's where it was first reported. And obviously that was true. So now that the same person is coming out and saying this, does it lend a little more credence to it? I think certainly it does a little bit. However, we should go ahead.
No, that's probably why some of the mainstream media picked this up and started running with it than other Puck News that's come out before that kind of just stays within like the comic.com news circle and all that stuff. So
that's my guess. That is my guess as why this got, because again, if this was just a random fucking whatever bullshit fan site, it probably wouldn't get as much attention as it's getting because it's on the Hollywood Reporter. Now, we should point out that a follow-up by Variety, Star Wars boss Kathleen Kennedy planning to exit Lucasfilm at the end of 2025. A separate source close to Kennedy, however, dismissed the initial report by Puck as pure speculation and says nothing has been decided. So here we are in the same old thing.
A source says she's stepping down, but a source closer to her says, nah, that ain't it.
That's just speculation. Now, we talked about this a few days ago, and I've talked about this repeatedly over the course of the past several years. Kathleen Kennedy is getting old. She's an old bitch. If this happens, and if she steps aside, this doesn't mean anything changes at Lucasfilm. This doesn't mean anything's different for Disney Star Wars. It doesn't mean that Disney is firing her. She's aging out, and she's leaving. And if this happens, it's going to be amid a big celebration and a thank you for her time there. Instead of what should have happened 5 or 6 years ago is she got fired for ineptitude and for the course of the franchise. But no, she continued to be there, continued to get blessings from Disney. And with everything that's continued to come out, it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. And 4 or 5 years ago, there was a lot of people clamoring for, Favreau and Dave Filoni to take charge of this franchise. They can save it. Is that really what you think now? Like, I've been obviously very anti Dave Filoni my entire fucking life. Ever since I heard this man's name, I've been anti Dave Filoni when it comes to Star Wars. But now with I felt like Mando season 2 was literally just jangling keys and bullshit. Mando season 3 was a fucking nightmare. Ahsoka is trash. Dave Filoni has been creatively involved in everything that Disney Star Wars has put out over the last 5 years. Okay? That's just the reality with his role at Lucasfilm. He has been. So I don't know who potentially would take the spot if this happens. Any one of the names on this Lucasfilm leadership list, I suppose. Dave Filoni looks more feminine than almost all of them. A lot of women up here in the top 6, aren't there?
I agree completely. If Star Wars or all of the properties at Lucasfilm was ever going to change, it's got to be a complete uprooting of everything. It just for them to even to give people hope of change, just because she walks away gracefully whenever she feels like it, because she just wants to go vacation, and she'll probably speak at a lot of women's conferences moving forward. If she does leave this year, she'll get some awards and for all the work she's done, and like you said, she'll be celebrated, but that probably won't change a thing over at Star Wars or Indiana Jones or anything else. So
yeah, I mean, like this, it would not surprise me if this happens. I think we all should have the opinion. We'll believe it when we see it, right? Correct. With everything we've known about this. However, I think this report has a little more validity than the multitude of fake news bullshit that's been out there over the past 5 years of people claiming that they have secret sources that are saying this and saying that, which is never true. It was always lies. It was always bullshit. Because of what we've seen in the past with the reporting specifically from Matthew Baloney about the extension, about these things, probably has a little more validity to it. But the end of 2025 is a long way from now, period.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
No, you're good.
There's a lot of stuff that she's got to go through this year. And I don't know if people saw this, but Gina tweeted this out when the news broke. Doesn't mean anything. Just sipping on some tea, I guess. Seeing everything that's happening. But she will have to go through that lawsuit that's supposed to be, I think, July is when it heads to the court. And Kathleen Kennedy was named in it. So wouldn't that be crazy? That's her last thing she does. It's all speculation. She has to go to court for Gina Carano before she walks away and retires. Like, that'll be the last thing on her Star Wars resume, losing a court battle. Well, who knows what's going to happen with that thing, but that's the last thing she has to do. The thing is too is Star Wars Celebration is in April, and that's in Japan. And it does feel weird that this would kind of come out before that. I would assume that an announcement like this would kind of come out after Star Wars Celebration, unless they turn Celebration into a giant "we love you, KK, thanks for the memories" type of thing. You never know. You never know with these people.
Maybe that would be a good opportunity to her to do a little send off and say, I plan to step down in October, and this is going to be the person replacing me, and bring out another strong, powerful woman. We'll see. At the end of the day, Kathleen Kennedy is old. She's not going to be there forever. At some point, she's going to say enough is enough. To put it in perspective, Kevin Feige's in like his early 50s. Right. Kathleen Kennedy is going to be 72 in June. And she's been in this role for fucking 15 years or 13 years, I suppose now. Yeah. So we'll all believe it when we see it. However, when you have places like The Hollywood Reporter and Deadline and Vanity Fair reported it, as opposed to just other things, including people that would, they're big advocates for Kathleen Kennedy. That's when you look at it and be like, well, we'll see. Seems like this has a better better possibility than some other of the bullshit that we've seen in recent years.
You know what? I don't even think Jon Favreau would even want that job. I think he came in, and that's just me. I think he could have came in. He wanted to do the Mandalorian, a little side spin-off show. I didn't think he expected that show to be their big thing for Disney Plus, I guess. And that was it. Like, he just wanted to do a fun little side quest adventure. Not that would be the main, but I could be wrong.
More than that, I think that when you look at this is when it comes to both Favreau and Filoni, I think that Kathleen Kennedy's role is not really as a creator, right? It's a manager.
Right.
And I feel like both of them are probably more interested in making things and actually creating things rather than being
managing,
people
right,
that are sitting there hiring this person, hiring that person, hiring that person.
I do
obviously
think
don't know them, but that's like a guess.
I do think in my soul, I believe Kennedy thought that the Acolyte was going to be the rebirth of Star Wars television. You know, the way that they signed off on a show, they knew it had an ending that didn't end the series. You know, they were like, it just everything that looked into it. Apparently, she cried when she saw the script for the Acolyte, and then we're hearing all these things where it was like, yeah, the Acolyte had several seasons planned and possible a movie. So that probably was all discussed. There's no way that they would have just did that series and end it the way they did, not thinking that they were going to continue the story. But this is Lucasfilm, and then it bombed horribly, and they didn't. They decided not to move forward, just make a couple books to finish the tales. And maybe that was like her last thing. Like, well, didn't really go the way I planned, so I'll just step down at the end of the year. Bob Iger's looking to step down too. Like, he's not going to be around much longer as well, even though he just got a freaking massive raise. So maybe they're all going to leave together. One big happy family.
Maybe. We'll see. All right, let's get to some of these chats. Cocho, Shark Dragon for 5. I'm skeptical of this news of KK, but since Trump shut down U.S. aid money, seems Disney now is an excuse to get rid of her. But Filoni's still there. This has nothing to do with U.S. aid money. If this is accurate, it's simply because she's old and ready to leave. Rolando Ramirez, member for 7 months, says late and gay. We were late. Empty-headed for 199 says, I agree with Josh.
Who the freak is Josh?
The carnivore trucker, why are you Jay?
I don't know.
Shadow saying, all hail J-Cast.
Yeah. It was well done.
Well, in the middle of, so we're sitting there. It's like 2 minutes before we're ready to go. And for the record, because my fucking Wi-Fi had been so fucked up and a little unreliable because I fucked up my Wi-Fi card during the move, I went out, I got a 150-foot Ethernet extension cable. I'm fucking sitting there. I ran it all through the place. I've got it plugged in now. I'm looking good. I've got like a gig down and like 40 up, which is really solid. It's way better than it was before. Wish I had fiber, but I don't. And I'm thinking, fucking finally, we're ready. And right before we start, I start getting a low connection thing. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Fucking can't do anything. This doesn't work. My internet says bullshit. Jay goes live. I turn on my Wi-Fi hotspot on my phone. Go. And like 10 minutes ago, I got a text from Spectrum. Hey, we've detected an outage in your area. Restoration will be around 2:30. Yeah, you detected an outage. No fucking shit. I do all of this. And then the internet company takes a crap. So,
wow.
That's just kind of my luck.
Well, here's some good news for you since we're talking about Star Wars. Celebrate the 20th anniversary of Star Wars Episode 3, returning to theaters April 25th. Got a brand new poster. That makes you it makes you excited again, right?
Bro, are they going to give us Darth Vader popcorn buckets?
Yeah. Maybe we'll get some Anakin head. The back of his head will be the popcorn with his red eyes. Who knows?
Pronoun Beaver off to a great start. Jay, you're the best of us.
Yeah, it was great.
Ronan for $1 says, "Let's talk games" over on Rumble. Zero Music for $20. Okay, Ryan. Now that Kathleen Kennedy is out, are you finally going to apologize to Overlord DVD with a smiley face? I would never apologize for not being wrong. I feel like somebody else may owe people an apology, but no. And then he says, Zero Music for $20. Also says, dang it. Doomcock, that is his name. Cocked it all up. 199. Yeah, eventually, I suppose, if you say that someone's going to be gone, eventually they will die or get so old that they quit. But no, obviously, we've heard a lot of bullshit reports about Kathleen Kennedy starting back in 2019 when it comes to all of the Civil War bullshit, when it comes to her getting fired by first Bob Iger, then Bob Chapek, then Bob Iger again. Obviously, none of this was true, and it was never true, but it was intended to give a lot of people hope. The truth is, even now that Kathleen Kennedy is so old, she's actually going to step away and retire. It's way too late for the Star Wars franchise. She's going to be given flowers as she walks away. She's going to be celebrated as she walks away. If they would have actually taken the steps they needed to 5 years ago and fired her, that would have been something. They could have turned things around potentially, but obviously they didn't. They were never going to, despite people lying to people about that.
I mean, I drank the Kool-Aid. I think I've made 4, maybe 3 or 4 Kathleen Kennedy's gone videos. I did one this morning. So let's just put that to the list.
Well, look, it's sitting there on the Hollywood Reporter.
Yeah.
Right? Like it is newsworthy to talk about. Yeah. And I think all of us are probably under the assumption we'll believe it when we see it.
Exactly.
Right? You've got another source close to Kathleen Kennedy talking to Variety that says all of this is just speculation. Nothing's been confirmed yet. So even now, we should still believe it when we see it.
I'll believe it when I see it, Ryan.
Yeah. $100.
Goodness gracious.
From Linko Kenobi. What's up, everyone? I'll see it to believe it. If Kathleen Kennedy will actually leave Lucasfilm, even if she does, in order to make Star Wars great again, you have to get rid of her activists, followers, developers, and everyone, including your favorite Ryan, Dave Filoni. Yeah,
I mean, it's got to be a clean sweep. It's got to be a clean sweep, and then they should probably pause for a good minute. You know. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think that she's
maybe pause for a long minute. How about that? And then, but yeah, that's
start from scratch, clean house, purge
it. And just act like that whole Kennedy era is just we found it in a time portal.
Donna Hall for 2 for the Buy Jay a Co-host Fund.
Hey, thanks, Donna. Donna was at the meetup. She got to meet all of us. Good people.
What's up, Donna? Barbecue Pits for 199. You got this, Jay. Let's keep it moving. Everybody was really excited about this.
They were cheering me on because it didn't start off too well, but
Knee pain for 5. Ryan's in the bathroom rubbing one out to celebrate the news. So he will lose it if Filoni replaces her. Should make for some good live stream.
Oof.
Like I said, I don't think there's. It is funny to talk about and kind of laugh at. I don't think there's much to celebrate, even if this news is true. Like, should we celebrate that Kathleen Kennedy was able to destroy Disney, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, whatever else you want to throw on there when it comes to Lucasfilm? Should we celebrate that after all of that, she's not fired, that she gets old enough to say, I'm hanging it up and leaves? I don't really think that's worth celebrating, personally. But Jay had to get the slip and slide ready to wipe, says the Trillist.
Slip and slide.
Shadow's saying no wipe cast.
Took a shower, though.
Rolando Ramirez, never mind. I take it back. Jay here. I'm happy.
When we were about a minute late, the whole chat was saying it's got to be Jeremy because Ryan is never late.
like the internet goes, it was literally like a minute or two before we're supposed to go live.
So I'm talking to Ryan, because he's got this face on, and it's kind of stuck. I think he's like doing stuff, So I'm like, all right, this and that and this, and then I went, am I frozen or is that you? And then I'm like, oh my God, we got to start. Like, do I just? So I had to like talk to myself for another minute. Should I hit the button or does he want me to wait? I don't know what to do. So I said, well, all right, for 2 minutes late, I'm gonna hit the button. Somebody will eventually show up. If not, I don't know what kind of disaster this would have been. So thank God you made it.
Thank God. It would have been funny if you had to do the whole thing without me.
I wouldn't
Big
have
news
made it.
day. You could have handled it, Jay.
Maybe.
Ryan was late because he was passed out from gooning too hard on KK retiring. Tobias next for 5. Hey, it's J Day. Still need to edit tonight, but so far you're doing better than I could do alone. Ryan gets Starlink. Hasn't failed me yet.
I don't do well on, like, once we hit like 2,000 viewers, I get very nervous. I start stuttering and spammering. I don't know. I'm just a low guy, man. Like, I'm a little guy. I'm not supposed to be streaming in front of $5,000. 5,000. Stuttering and spitting and spammering and all that.
Stammering.
Yeah. See, exactly. I'm already nervous.
Gannon 136, R. Kennedy Outpost. Beryllium X, time to get rid of the hags.
I love that word. Freaking hag. The old battle axe. Get out of here.
Blue Shell, draw 4 for 20. In unrelated news, today's Ric Flair's birthday. Happy birthday to the Nature Boy. Just happened to share a birthday with him. Well, happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
Blue Shell, draw 4.
Freaking Ric Flair will outlive us all, man. Guys did more drugs and drank more booze and probably slept with more women than the rest of the world.
Need paid for is Mike Zero finally right? No. I just want to be clear. You don't get credit for making things up for 7 years that were wrong over and over again to try to gaslight people. And then when somebody finally gets old enough that they're retiring, that you're right. So no, unfortunately, not for Mike Zero or anyone else. Repeat 27 for 2. It's Jay and the Gay. Hello. Well, what?
If I can be honest, and I know you guys haven't kept up, Star Wars is really bad when Mike Zero himself has just given up on it. There ain't a Star Wars video in sight, man. Nothing. A lot of Mel Gibson stuff, like nothing, man.
He's shifted over to like political woke stuff. And again, a lot of what he says is just made up. Do you remember the Ryan Reynolds She-Hulk stuff?
Yeah.
It was that he just made up. He straight up made it up. It was garbage and it was bullshit. Like that's what he does.
Where she was suing Ryan Reynolds.
At least he doesn't get triggered when people call him out for being completely made up bullshit. There's the one bright side about Mike. So he just doesn't engage with anybody online. He just makes things up, puts them out, and walks away. So shout out to him. Kathleen got the Doge email by accident. What have you done this week? Ruined Star Wars. David Smart for 5. The cast of Daredevil series was in The View, so screw this crap. Hope it all burns to the ground. What do you think about He-Man picks online? The cast of Daredevil did a media circuit, so screw them. Okay.
They wouldn't be on The View because it's ABC owns Disney.
Yeah.
Or Disney owns ABC, so if
that's your mindset on everything, then good for you, I suppose. But the He-Man picks, I think I only saw like one. The dude looks jacked. I'm not really interested in a current day He-Man story, though. I don't know. Because that's the report, right? Is that it's supposed to be set during like modern times?
Yeah, today, yeah.
Which is weird. Tenno, guess Kathleen Kennedy. We'll never get that win. I remember, I think it was Chris Gore who said that he had heard that she was getting, like, she was ready to be done. This was last year some point. That she was ready to be done, but she kind of wanted a win to go out on.
She wanted a win, yeah.
We haven't seen a win. Maybe they think Andor could be that win. Speaking of, we got to get to the Andor stuff, which we were planning to talk about Andor a little more. But obviously the Kathleen Kennedy report kind of supersedes that. Let's see. Let's get to this. This came out yesterday. Yesterday, Jay. Andor Season 2 trailer. Pretty good reception so far when you look at likes and dislikes. And overall, Andor, it wasn't hugely popular, but it was probably acclaimed by most people as the most well done thing they've done on Disney Plus. Now, I thought that Andor was well made. I just didn't have too much interest in the character of Cassian Andor himself. But I think it's the most competent thing they've probably done. And I feel like they're betting a lot on season 2 of this because it's one of the only things that they kind of have going for them, despite the fact that it didn't receive a ton of broad appeal from kind of a general Star Wars audience. Should we watch the trailer?
Sure. It's the most popular Star Wars show that no one watched. How about that?
That's a good way to put it. Although I will say this, unlike virtually everything else they've put out, its viewership accelerated towards the end,
yes,
as opposed to everything else, which fell off like a rock. So we do have to put that out there.
We're in a war. You want to fight? Or you want to win?
Can we talk about how weird this music is?
Music sucks.
I don't understand the music that they selected. It doesn't really feel like Star Wars. But
horrible.
Last night a dream.
Oh, it's awful.
All our hopes have come to be. The revolution starts now.
What a swell party this is.
See, Krennic is back, Death Star construction, and we'll talk about the timing of release and all that stuff in a little bit here.
Remember this moment. You're here, you're right here, and you're ready to fight.
I'll be real. The trailer does like nothing for me.
No,
and maybe so much of it is because of the music.
Star Wars music is so iconic with the brand. And no matter where you are, if you're walking somewhere, if you're like in a store and you hear like Star Wars music, like it's beautiful. John Williams' Star Wars music is amazing, and it makes the movies, for me, like it's part of the movie. It's part of the brand of Star Wars. This is terrible that are they just saying, hey, we got to like bring in a new hip crowd? So we got to change the music to like maybe try something different because no one's watching our freaking Star Wars show. So maybe if we add some more edgier music, people will be interested in a season 2 of a show about people that die in the movie Rogue One.
It's really weird because even from what we saw in Andor season 1, like this music makes no fucking sense for the tone, right, that Andor season 1 had. And I don't think the music probably makes any sense for the tone that Andor season 2 is likely to have either. And I get it. The revolution starts now. You're talking about the rebellion. I get the theming. And I don't think that this should just be bum, bum, ba-da-da-da. I'm not saying you should use the original Star Wars. What I'm saying is this sounds nothing like Star Wars. right? When you look at, say, the Star Wars, the Old Republic soundtrack, right? Though that's like original music, but it feels like
It's all
you're
part
in
of
that
like,
universe,
yeah,
right?
it's like they took inspiration from the John Williams music and added it to these different outlets, even like in some of the video games and stuff. And like you said, yeah, it feels like Star Wars. It's just, I don't know what they're trying to do. I guess they're just trying to throw anything at the wall at this point to make it stick, because the viewership, like Ryan has pointed out before, it was like Andor's the lowest viewed show. Then it was the next thing that came out. Then it was Ahsoka was the lowest viewed show. Then it was Acolyte was the lowest viewed. Then his Skeleton Crew didn't even chart. So it's like definitely there's a loss of interest, and people have walked away. So maybe they're just trying to. I don't know what the freak that company's doing, but just trying to, just even thinking about it gives me a headache because it's just stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I think personally, I saw Gary tweeted out this with like All Star from Smash Mouth over top of it. I think we need a little bit of Led Zeppelin over it. I think that would work better. You know, like it would do 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 do. Yes, exactly. That's what I think that would work better over this, don't you?
Maybe.
Might as well play that.
Did you
Especially
see what
especially if you had a random shot of like Hoth or something in there with snow? I come from the land of the ice and snow.
Yeah, exactly.
But we did also learn about how it's going to be released, and I think this is probably a good idea by them. One of the things we'd heard about Andor season 2 was that it was going to be that every 3 episodes would almost be like a smaller contained story, and it would take place over 4 years leading up to the events basically of Rogue One, A New Hope, whatever. So they're going to do 3 episode drops, which I think is probably smart for them if all of these are going to kind of be their own contained stories with a year time jump in between. Episode 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's only going to release over 4 weeks, and it's going to span over 4 years. Probably will help them out viewership numbers, ratings wise, and make it look better than it would if they would just drop one at a time. But I mean, Andor season 2 is one of the only things that I think anybody has any like, hey, maybe that could actually be competent that's come out from Disney Star Wars recently. I don't know how big of a win it could possibly be for them. They spent a lot of money on this. They spent a lot of money on season 1. And it's one of the only things that had decent word of mouth in the aftermath.
Yeah.
But they need a lot more people to tune in to truly make it a success.
It would be really something if these numbers came in below Skeleton Crew or Acolyte. Also, check your DMs, right?
That's not going to happen for sure.
You think?
No, it's not going to be under Skeleton Crew, and I would imagine it'll be above the Acolyte.
It would be something. I don't. Well, I can hear it. I know we can't play that, but Robert Meyer Burnett put together. If you go to his Twitter, he put together a remix of the Andor trailer. That's what I said, Ryan. With I don't know who did that. F the Police in the background. So I thought that was pretty good. A lot better. It is interesting that they had like three episodes, because I think like the original Andor, it's almost like it landed on the 3rd episode when things started to change. Because like if you break the original Andor up into 3 pieces, it's the first part is the bank robbery, the second part is the prison, and the last part is the funeral, right? So it's like it has a couple little things here and there. Then like the 3rd episode in, they rob the spoiler. Sorry if you haven't watched it. They rob the bank. Then he just magically gets arrested on the beach and he's thrown in jail. So then there's like jail scenes. Then the 3rd episode in, he breaks away from jail, right? He escapes. Then he's got to get back to his home planet because his mom that kidnapped him from another planet has died. So then they have all this stuff that happened in like the 3rd episode in. The woman who died gave a speech in some hologram video, and that was the end of the episode. or into the series. So maybe they're doing it that way because like the filler episodes were just very, very boring and just a lot of dialogue of people just sitting down talking to each other. So it's possible. You just let me vomit all that out and
You're trying to explain it, so
trying. That's why I'm here.
I was just letting you go.
Thank you.
Let's see. Boba Fett, truth is Star Wars needs to take a break, but they won't. Yeah. They won't because they just want to keep pushing, shoveling shit out.
Marvel's heading down the same road where they needed some time off, but I don't think that's going to happen either.
I think we're getting a full reboot after Secret Wars from Marvel. That's what I feel. David Smart
Really?
for $5. Yeah. Okay, what do you think about Scream 7 film? I think it's either going to be epic horror or shit because the main villain's returning from the original film. I don't know. I don't think that Scream movies are necessarily peak horror. They're kind of parodies of horror movies, and they're fun, I guess. But
a lot of those slasher films, they just keep them going. Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Scream falls into that, I guess. Even though they're bringing back every now and then.
Scream is like they're making fun of those movies to some sense, but they also have a real killer and shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Obviously,
but I mean, even Halloween, they brought back
controversy with the person they had as the new star of the future. Where because of the comments about Israel and Palestine or whatever, they moved away from her, which means I think they lost Jenna Ortega too, who is also a big part of that like new reboot. But I don't know how Scream 7 is going to be received. David Cushmore, Kathleen Kennedy, done with Lucasfilm. They should give that back to the original George Lucas for Lucasfilm again. George Lucas does not, again,
he can barely walk.
George Lucas is not coming back to Lucasfilm. He's fucking 80. He sold it because he felt he was too old to make these movies anymore, and he wanted to spend time with his family in his old age. So, again, reports about him being involved in Rise of Skywalker or him coming in to kick the door down, these were never real things. But yeah. Samuel B. Oh, Ryan forgot to take his meds again, and Jeremy isn't here to calm him down. Point on the super chat where Dave Filoni touched and hurt you. Also, stay gold, Jay. Stay gold. Look, Dave Filoni, the way Dave Filoni's hurt me is the same way he's hurt Star Wars because he's a piss poor fucking storyteller and dog shit. All I've been doing is telling you the truth about Dave Filoni for years, and a lot of you dumb cocksuckers didn't want to believe me. So, Taker for 2. So much for Kathleen's big win. Michael C. KK will announce a strong, powerful woman to replace her. Dave Filoni. Maybe. Ministry of Wrong Thing. KK going out is like hearing your sister's rapist is dead. Doesn't make it better, but at least it happened. Whew. We'll see. It's a report. Alessandro, does Jay still laugh about disabled people?
I'm trying to be better.
Golden Nuggets. Anyone interested in some naked Kath K pics? Me and my dad like to look at them together. Very artistic. I'm good, man.
Yeah, I'll pass.
From back in the day when she was a dancer in Temple of Doom, then maybe. MJ UK, Star Wars is 50 in 2027. Does KK stick around for her magnum opus, Rey the Only Jedi Ever, or abandon ship for someone else taking the heat on the 50th?
I thought for sure she would stick around for Rey's movie. And she still might.
Still might. Speaking of Star Wars, people complain about Star Wars Celebration artwork for Revenge of the Sith, saying there's no women on it. The only woman that should probably be on there would be Padme. But it depends how many people are in the picture. Vermithor for 10. KK leaving now is like Big H shooting himself in the bunker when the Soviets are at your door. Star Wars is ruined and burnt to the ground. F this lady for what she did to Star Wars and Indiana Jones. Hail. KK leaving Star Wars would be like Godzilla leaving the destroyed city. General Jimmy's. Sneaky Singy. Wait, wasn't the KK rumor bollocks the catalyst of the Fellowship declaring Doomcock excommunicado? Well, first of all, I don't think anyone ever declared him excommunicado. What happened was like 4 years ago, after we'd heard so many of these bullshit Kathleen Kennedy being fired things. I essentially said that you're kind of dumb if you believe that these rumors are true over and over again that he comes out with. He got very upset, essentially went on a spurg out and demanded that I be canceled and removed from this show and this show. That didn't go over well, and a lot of people didn't really appreciate that kind of stuff from him. But there's still plenty of people. There's plenty of viewers of this that still watch him. There's plenty of supporters that we have that still support him. So there's nothing excommunicado about it. But I think he behaved in a pretty silly way trying to cancel me in the aftermath of me calling his bullshit rumors bullshit. That's pretty much what went down.
Thanks for the explanation.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't know that shit. That was a long time ago.
It's a while back.
That was a long time ago. A long time ago. The critical catastrophe for 5. It only took the destruction of two great franchises to make Kennedy go away.
Maybe.
The chat for 5. I wanted Jay to do a Ryan impression and talk back and forth with himself.
You mean talk to myself as one person being Ryan? Huh. I don't know if I could pull that off. I'm really not that talented. I'm
Yellow
surprised that I'm
Flash.
still here, to be honest with you.
Yellow Flash for $1.99. Feminist Filoni will take over. Star Wars is dead. Yeah, unless they clean house and get rid of everybody, go on a pause and really get a new direction. There's no there's no change if this happens. RJ, the real question is, can we rebuild Star Wars, and will decanonizing the sequels be a good enough first step? I don't think that's ever happening. Like, unless it truly was a big time break and they did clean house. But Carl Anderson, I hope she's gone, but she and Disney killed my excitement for new Star Wars. Hope it comes back, but there's not much hope. Just a fool's hope.
Bro, they can't even get a theme park correct. A theme park. How do they mess up a Star Wars theme park?
John Getz over on Rumble. I have breaking news too. Trump will be out of the White House in 2029. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks. Thank you. And then John Getz for $1 says, put some anime battle song over it just to confuse fans even more. John Getz for another $1. Screw that. The last 2 presidents are as ancient as George. Come on, George. Your family can't be that great. Get a Neuralink from Elon and get back to it. You're still a young, vibrant man.
A Neuralink.
Tobias for $5. I've joined you, Jay, the Canadian Bear, and that still sadly stuck in California Fox. I have no idea what's going on, but it hasn't stopped me yet.
Good for you, man. Keep up the good fight.
GL Satchich for $5. Jay did the epic Star Wars hotel stream. G&G is nothing to that.
Oh, thank you. It was 8 hours of my life.
Isn't that when you reacted to a 5-hour video or something?
You know what's crazy? That thing still gets me tons of views every month. It's
That's
like people
wild.
like that long format. They just put it on like when they're at work or something. I don't know.
Nader's Brick. Ryan, if you used your forehead for a Wi-Fi signal, you wouldn't need an internet service. I'll look into that. GJJ, Achromatic Chronicles Green, signed and graded collector's edition, out for delivery.
Man, that's awesome, man. Yeah, CGC took a little longer than we thought, but I'm glad people are starting to get them. And I hope you enjoy it, man. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it.
Shadow saying for 10, we're in a war in the stars. A Star Wars. Andor. That music is not Star Wars at all. Holy crap. Yeah, I don't... I feel like I feel nothing while watching that trailer, which it's not like I'm really like, oh, Andor really got to me. It's just so fantastic. I love the character. Not like that at all. But I feel like that trailer could have had a little more impact with proper music. That wasn't that. The music just really throws me off. Andor gay. Chat want Kyle Katarn. Yeah, I mean, Cassian Andor, like I'm not a big fan of Rogue One. I think it's the best movie they've put out, but that's a very low bar. But Rogue One is just a gender role swapped Kyle Katarn story. Kyle Katarn and Jan Orr stealing the Death Star plans, except this time you get Jyn Erso instead of Jan Ors, and she's the lead character.
She won't make an appearance, I'm assuming. Maybe as a child.
Takes place
maybe,
before
right?
the events of Rogue One. So,
Yeah.
probably not, but Thomas, maybe she could have a win going out if she restarted LucasArts and have Elon's big balls leading the direction. Beardo licks windows for 5. Ryan, if you were Nightwing, would you be clapping Starfire cheeks or Barbara Gordon cheeks or love triangle? Why not both is the real question. But yeah. The Starfire is hot, but she's also an alien.
Yeah, you don't want some like weird AIDS. That's all.
I'm kind of xenophobic, so
yeah.
Clyde Dashing for 2 sounds like an HBO special TV show.
Andor.
General order for, or general, not general, general order. Season 1 had a socialist revolution vibes. Steve Earle is a socialist singing about starting a revolution. I like the trailer, but it's not Star Wars. I don't get it. The Real Smile bit.
Holy crap, dude.
For
Thank you.
$100. I thought Andor was supposed to be 5 years total, with each season being 1 year leading up to Rogue One. Disney decided to only do one more season, with every 3 episodes being 1 year leading up to Rogue One, which would explain 3 episodes per week. Yeah, I think, I don't know originally what their plan was. I do think they had hoped at one point to do like 4 or 5 seasons. That got chopped down to 2, probably because they're too expensive and not enough people were fucking watching them. But yes, for, I would say, a year now or so, we've known that they were going to do 3 episode chunks, with each of those chunks being 1 year. I do think that with that being the case, that release strategy probably makes the most sense for them. Do it in those chunks. Otherwise, I don't think it would work very well for them. I think this is a way to keep people engaged, also up their watch time so it looks better in the Nielsen numbers, stuff like that. So a couple of things going in there. But thank you, Real
going
Smile,
in there,
dude.
man.
Yeah. Alfie Frost, is there any hope for a Knights of the Old Republic remake? Any chance it could be good? I would say don't hold your breath. If they did a remaster, that'd be amazing. Remake, go fuck yourself.
I did finish Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Finished it live.
Was it a great circle?
I thought it was I thought it was very good. Thought it was a great game. The ending was like, I thought the ending was great. Of course, they used John Williams music through the whole thing, but still, I thought it was great.
Grandmaster Chris for 5. Andor trailer sucked. Music was completely out of place. Goers seem to forget that aliens exist, and all roads lead to Jake Skywalker. If you want real Star Wars, listen to Dark Forces audio drama. That would be cool. But yeah, if somebody dubbed completely like not in a joke, but maybe music that made sense over it, the trailer could maybe have more impact to me, but it doesn't as of right now. Takeover dude, C. Ryan Doomcock was right all along. I'm sure there'll be a hashtag about that somewhere from someone in a sarcastic way, or maybe a very serious way. Van, Doomcock sings show tunes. What a fig. Look, I don't mind show tunes every once in a while. I like a good musical as much as anybody else.
Yeah, same here.
Barbecue Pits for 5. More breaking news. Joy Reid has been fired from her role in Black Panther 3.
Man, poor thing.
John Papa Sergio. Scream after the second one are terrible. Too predictable. Always new cast members who end up being the killers. Stephen McBride for 2. Ryan, have Whoopi Goldberg nudes if you want them.
What are you doing with those, man?
Tommy Campari for 199. Season 2 trailers tones seem unserious. Millennial writing. I don't it is weird, because that is not the vibes at all from season, like that's completely detached from the tone of season 1. And it's also probably, if I had to guess, completely detached from what the tone of season 2 is going to be. So the trailer makes no fucking sense other than they wanted the Revolution song in there. But holy fuck. Holy fuck.
Right.
Speaking of holy fuck, we got Rachel Zegler news, Jay.
Oh, my favorite.
You know, we talked yesterday about the different marketing strategy for the Snow White Rachel Zegler movie that was being rolled out, all about respecting the past and honoring what came before, despite Rachel Zegler's comments, despite Rachel Zegler's actions over the past several years. It seemed like they were desperately trying to do something to change people's minds and say, hey, we're actually really respectful of the past, guys. Don't worry. Well, now it looks like the damage control is continuing. It's almost like someone finally gave Rachel Zegler a fucking script to use. Rachel Zegler is addressing the multi-pronged backlash she faced regarding Disney's live-action reimagining of Snow White, due in theaters March 21st. I interpret people's feelings about this film as their passion for her, and what an honor to be part of something for which people feel such passion. We're not always going to have the same sentiments as those around us. And all that we can do is give the best of ourselves. If this isn't complete 180 damage control, I don't know what is. Gee, this is the same person who stood up there and shit all over the original multiple times about 2 years ago. This is the same person who only months ago basically was shitting all over people that had a problem with her as Snow White. This is the same person who said, I don't need Trump supporters going to support my movie if you disagree differently than myself politically. All of a sudden, somebody at Disney finally has told this woman exactly what to say. The problem is, this is fucking too little too late. Like,
Yeah.
people have already seen everything you've said. And now you're saying the exact opposite, that, oh, you know, instead of all these people, these toxic Disney fans are just trying to tear women down. It's really sad that they have to do that. That's what you said back in October of this year. Now you're saying, well, we're not always going to agree on everything, but they're very passionate about the character.
What a load of
Nobody
crap.
buys this shit.
Yeah. What a load of crap. Blaming fans and stuff. Man, that's so 2022. I mean, come on. That was the talking point back then. It's not the talking point now. And now that they're actually losing money in the box office with all these films, they've got to do something because, next month, just a few weeks away, we get the Snow White premiere. Should be interesting. So it's also going to, I'm telling you, man, I'm waiting for the freaking press tour because every time Disney does a press tour, there's always something. So I'm wondering if she's being coached as we speak to handle the press tour with respect and all the right answers. So
I am sure that they are desperate, right? I'm sure they've been desperate for a while, but the problem is you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube when it comes to Rachel Zegler. People are always going to have these clips and what she said before all the backlash really took off, before she started to say whatever Disney PR is now telling her to say. And it's a good thing that they're having her say this now, right? That is a good thing. But it doesn't mean anything when we've seen all of it before, when we know this is clearly just Disney PR. I interpret people's sentiments towards the film as passion for it. And what an honor to be part of something that people feel so passionately about. We're not always going to agree with everyone who surrounds us. All we can do is our best.
they tried to get Henry Cavill to like talk bad about the fans years ago, and he actually made that same statement. He goes, "No, I don't think they're toxic. They're just passionate fans." You know, but he didn't trash everybody a few months before whatever project he was working on with that. So yeah, people won't forget, and it'll be interesting to see like the questions asked of her about her political stance, about how she feels about women. This is the same person that tweeted out, who had like this meltdown on Twitter before some of this stuff came out, where she just says, "I hate men. Men are the problem." All that stuff. You know, I don't think she's deleted any of that stuff, but
Oh yeah, she was clapping back to fans and all
Yeah.
this stuff during this entire time, and now it's like I feel like people are just
They're
really
passionate.
and we
They're
have
just
to understand
passionate.
that. The person who made an Instagram story saying, "If you vote for Trump, I don't want you to come to my movies."
Yeah.
We're not always going to agree with everyone who surrounds us. All we can do is our best.
Yes. Yeah.
We'll see if this helps Rachel Zegler and the bastardized version of Snow White.
She, if people remember, she's the one who started the hashtag Fire Gina Carano stuff way back when. And she was also
started, but she was like, she hopped on with other fans, right?
she went on about like getting her fired. I got videos and all that. Like she went on about getting her fired and all that stuff. Yeah, she's the one. It's funny at the conventions too. Gina gets asked about Rachel Zegler all the time, like from people that are in line. They're like, "Have you guys made up or talked about and stuff?"
Look, Rachel Zegler's like what, 23 years old, 24 years old. She's young and she's fucking really retarded, right? Who knows how Rachel Zegler will feel about the things she's said and the things she's done
in
10 years from now.
Yeah.
I know me when I was 23 years old, I wasn't that fucking retarded, but there's certainly things that I've done or said when I was 23 years old that I wouldn't say now that I'm 36. But I don't know.
Well, she does live in that Hollywood bubble.
100%.
She used a lot of those Hollywood talking points. Hey, man, listen, I'm all for Ryan changing Rachel Zegler just like he did to Brie Larson. Brie Larson has made a huge 180. We salute you, sir. When you said I could fix her, you meant it, did what you said. Things are looking bright for Brie Larson. Maybe you could do the same for Rachel. We'll see.
Rachel's a little too young for me, I think.
All right, well.
A little too young. Like more than 10 years younger, I'm like, I don't know if I can listen to you and for any given period of time. But you never know. Maybe there's a chance someday, somehow. I don't think that Brie Larson's fan didn't start following me yet, which is disappointing.
Oh.
It's very disappointing. I followed her, though, the Brie Larson fan page, after she called me a grifter. Not Brie Larson, the fan page.
Yeah.
I followed her after that. So we'll see. All right. I think that's going to be it. I think we're all caught up. Let me make sure we are. Yeah, I think we're all caught up on locals. We're caught up on Rumble. We're caught up here on YouTube. What do you got going on, Jay?
Today probably take it a little easy. I already got my video out early at 6 a.m. I did my morning walk after that. Did my live show at 8. So it'll just be working on some park hopping videos coming up. So there's a couple Epic Universe announcements that are out there that I'll be looking through and going from there. So,
well, there you go. Sorry we were late today. It's my fault. Thanks, Jay, for holding it down for 2 minutes.
Welcome. Yeah.
Hopefully these Spectrum fucking queers will fix my internet, but no promises. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for hanging out. Maybe. Oh wait, hold on. The chat for $5. I think maybe Doomcock's Mass talks to him. That's his sources. Who knows? Maybe Kathleen Kennedy might finally potentially be gone because she's so old and is going to step away at the end of the year. Only time will tell.
Yeah.
Only time will tell. But all right, guys, thanks. We'll talk to you later. Bye.